Hi everyone, today I've decided to do the background on this lantern page. I know I'd spoken about it before and I thought I would show you, do a little demo of how I'm going to do it. Now the first thing I'm doing, because I'm going to be using pastel, so I'm going to get lots of paper to put between the pages of the book. So I put one behind here. Now it's a big piece because it protects all the edges of the pages as well as the actual page. And another piece on this other side because I do make a lot of mess, and then I'm going to put one over this facing page as well, like that, so that I've covered over everything but what I want to do. I'm just going to move my book aside and show you what I'm going to do with the pastel. So I have my little bowl here, and here are my pastels. Now I've only got quite a small set, I am getting some more soon, and the colours I'm going to use are the yellow and the orange. So I'm going to start by scraping some into the bowl. I apologise for the sound. My husband says it's a really nasty sound. He dislikes it immensely. But I'm going to scrape some yellow into the bowl here. Now some people scrape directly onto the paper. I find that's messier, and I'm just a messy person, so I try and keep it a little bit neater. And now I'm going to do some orange because I'm going to have an orangey colour too. Now that's all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to pop those to one side and just wipe my hands. I've got a little bit of cotton. I'm just going to wipe and move that aside. Bring the book back now. Make sure my hands aren't too dirty. Right, oh, I've just realised I've knocked my computer. It's going to be making a noise. Hold on, I should just turn it back off so that it stops being so noisy. Okay, now we've got the whole design of the lantern, and my idea is to start off with the pale yellow and come out to make it darker in these corners. And I'm going to use, because it's such a small book, sometimes I would use these cotton pads to spread the pastel, but because this is a smaller book, I'm going to use these. Now these are makeup cosmetic tipped cotton buds, they're called, but this is just like a normal cotton bud or Q-tip, but it's a little bit more pointy, which I find quite useful, and this is a more rounded edge, which can be quite handy for doing along straight lines and things. So I'm probably just use this end for this. And I'm just going to start by, let me show you, rolling it into the pastel and getting a fair bit on the end to start with. And I'm going to zoom in the video a little bit so you can see what I'm doing a little bit more closely. Now you can see with the candle we've got these lines around it which Johanna's drawn in for us. And I'm going to just go over the top of these with the yellow at the moment, and afterwards I'm going to go over the top of them in a white gel pen. I may not show you that because I have to put some fixative on first. So you see I'm just gently applying. I don't want too much colour in this middle bit. I want it to get more intense as we go out. Now one thing we need to be careful of is that we've left these white gaps to make it look like it's shiny, and we don't want to go over those with the pastel if we can help it. I'm not going to get too het up and worried about it, but I want to ideally keep those white, because or else it removes the illusion of shine. So I'm just, you can see I'm just gently pushing it into the page using the tip. I'm just grabbing a bit more. Sorry, I can't fit it all in shot. So I'm going along this edge and filling in this box part here. Now I'm going to take this outside and all round. Now I'm trying to think about where I will start to add in the orangey colour. And my idea is to try and blend a little bit so we get a more intense orangey colour in the corners and then it lighter towards the middle. So I'm going to stop with my yellow at the moment, once I've done this sort of rough area to sort of mark out where I want it to be. And I'm going to get a new one of these to do my orange. I'm going to zoom back out because I'm going to do the corners. Oh, that's the wrong way, so that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I still can't, I don't want to put that there, it's on the wrong side of me. Hang on a minute, let me move across a bit. And then I can pop this in shot so you can see what I'm doing. So that's the yellow one. So I'm going to roll around in my orange and grab some orange colour and pop this in the corners. Now you see my hand is on the page over here because it tends to want to flip up. So what I'm going to do is to actually use one of these to hold the page down, because once I've got pastel on it, I will start to smudge it and get my greasy fingerprints on it. And fingerprints can really show up in pastel. Now I realise some people use pastel with their fingers. They put it on with fingers. And that seems to work. But if you don't, and then you just pop one big fingerprint in the middle, it doesn't look good. Also, if I get this orange on my finger and then put it in the middle of the page, I'll get a big orange blob where I don't want one. So I'm just being a little bit careful. You can see I'm not going right to the middle yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do these dark corners first. Let's just get that paper in exactly the right place. There we go. I don't want to get orange on the facing page. I haven't done that picture yet. I haven't decided what I'm doing with that. So going orange through here. Now I also find that when you've got a crease in the page, the dust can accumulate in there, so you should be aware of that, be a little bit careful. If you're doing a double page and you're doing it right across the page, it might not matter so much, but if you don't want the other page to have this colour in, then be a little bit more careful. We'll do a little bit down here. I'll try not to keep it a regular line. Sorry, the page keeps moving around so much. I think I'm going to pop that there. Try and hold it down like that. That's it. You can see it's a little bit awkward. I could do with another pair of hands. I always thought that when I gave birth to my twins that I would grow another pair of hands, but I'm still waiting. They're 15 and I haven't got them yet. So whoever told me that was not right. And you can see I've got a little streak of pastel here. I'm not sure whether that is my technique or whether it's these pastels. These are Conte Paris pastels, and I am 47 and I probably bought these when I was 17. So they are quite old. Not quite as old as me, but still quite old. So whether they aren't good for that, I don't know. Now this chain up here is quite complex. I don't want to get any, I try not to get any on the white, but I obviously need to get some in the middle. And my end of my cotton bud or whatever is getting a bit fluffy. So I'm going to try and use this end, which is harder, to apply a bit of colour. There we go. And just get around there. Okay, now next I want to blend the two colours together. So, oops, let's just pop that on the edge there. I'm going to firstly look at my yellow and see if I'm happy with the amount of yellow, because I'm going to use this yellow one for blending, so it won't be pure yellow any longer. So I'm just trying to fill in any gaps that I can see, that sort of thing. And then you can hopefully see my pot. I'm going to take some of this yellow. I'm not going to take all of it because I might change my mind. Take some of this orange and mix them together in the bowl. Now you can do it on the paper, but I used this technique the other day and I was quite happy with it. So we're mixing them together, and you can see that's a lighter shade compared to that orange, a bit darker than the yellow. And then I'm going to just put it in between, like this. And hopefully we'll see the difference. It does look quite dark to me. But until we've blown away all these bits, which I'm not going to do because I don't want yellowy orange pastel all over my desk, we won't see for sure what it looks like. Now we've got to get around this little butterfly. Again, I'm going to go for this harder end, and so I can get in. I'm trying not to press too hard because I'm quite aware that this end is harder, so it might make it a line or a streak. I don't want that. I want to still keep on with the sort of fluid movement that I've been doing. Okay, back to this end for this bit. See, it's really, I find this so much fun and relaxing. I'd forgotten how much fun pastels were, and then I started using them again, and I decided to ask for some for Christmas because I'm just having such fun with them. So I've actually ordered, I'm trying to think about what they're called, Mungo or something, I think the brand is, I can't really remember. And there are loads of different colours. I think they're quite short pieces compared to the ones I've got, but there's a big range. Because I haven't got a purple, I've only got one pink, which I would call Barbie pink, I suppose, a really brash, bright. It's not intense as well, which isn't always, there's not a delicate colour. And my white is very grey. Oops, that's a bit, do you see what I mean? Streaky. I'll try and blend it in with that. There we go, now we're over to this side, so we'll move here and go around our butterfly in a minute. We'll just go around him roughly with this. And then back with this harder end. Now, if you haven't got these and you've just got a normal cotton bud or Q-tip, if you find the ends getting too fluffy, just use a new one. But I rather like the fact that I can use both ends and get a lot of use out of these little things. Now I think it could be done, but I can't really see, apart from here, I can see. Oh, I've got a big streaky bit I need to rub in. There we go. So what I want to do is blow away the loose pastel and have a look and see how it looks. So, and then I can add more in areas where it might be lacking, like there. I've just noticed that bit is really lacking. I'm going to go and get some of this lighter yellow. But I think around it is darker, so I'm going to go in with a bit of the darker as well. See, the good thing with the pastel is you can layer it up as well, like you can with pencil, because you've still got that tooth in the paper that you can use with pastel. Now, here, I've just noticed too, look, we haven't gone right to the edge. But as I say, it's not always easy to see until you blow away all the dust. Now, what I tend to do is open my balcony door, which I'm very lucky to have in this room, and blow the dust out into the garden. Oh, I just pasteled all over my butterfly then. I think he's all right. So I'm going to go and do that now. I'm very indecisive, aren't I, about when I'm going to do it. I've just decided I want a bit more yellow in here. And then I'll come back and show you the effect. I'll just pause the video. So here we go. Now I've blown it outside. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see a little bit more carefully what's going on. And you can see it's lighter yellow here going out to the darker orangey colour. Now, one thing I've noticed is that streak down there is still visible. So I'm going to try and blend that out by just gently rubbing over it in a different direction to the streak, and hope it sort of fades away. You see, I've removed this piece of paper so I can see what's going on in the spine as well. And I'm just trying to gently rub around. What else have I noticed? That the yellow here isn't quite right. So, and also I find it's not very even. What I'm going to do is excuse the rustling sound, get another cotton wool pad like this, and I'm going to dip this in the yellow. Sorry, you can't see because I'm zoomed in, and just add a bit more around this area. It's a bit thicker and a bit more in there, and then I'm going to generally go over this with the pad just to try and even out a little bit. I don't want a completely even colour. I quite like the splodgy effect, but I just want to sort of fill in any white gaps that are there with pastel. I'm very aware that my sunflower picture on the other side is exposed. I'm being very careful. There we go. And I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to do some white pen actually, and I think I'll show you that before I spray it. I have worked out that you can do paint pen and spray fixative on top and it's okay. So I'm going to use my jelly roll pen and I'm going to go over these. What I'm going to do is lean on this so I don't get pastel on my hand, and I'm going to just draw over these white lines that have been drawn on here for us. I don't know how well this is going to actually stand out, but now there are little white lines through the picture on the page as well, but I'm not going to draw over those, I don't think. So there we go. Now something you could consider doing here is use a gold pen to draw this and make it a little more sparkly and magical on the page, particularly if you were using this as a sort of Christmassy picture. There we go. That actually looks quite nice where the wet pen's catching the light. It does look quite sparkly. So there we go. I'm done with that page now. So the background does look quite faint, but it is just supposed to be a little bit of light. So I should zoom out. Oh no, zoom out so you can see it. There we go. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and happy colouring.